Hello, welcome. My name is Manex Ibar, and I am a spiritual guide for the world. And I am here, you are here. We are listening to my voice talking to you about pursuing your authentic path, really the practice of continuing to evolve your being and basically enter into the unknown and going deeper into figuring out what you don't know. And it's mostly about yourself and also about how the world works. What are the mechanics, to the world? And this is where spirituality is very interesting. I think at first we learn about the physical mechanics, almost like the physics. And once you get into the deep physics, the quantum physics, you start really understanding the other potentials of spiritual realms. I mean, if quantum physics talks about different dimensions, it talks about just so many things that actually sound like spiritual concepts, like that we live in 16 different dimensions, that, the dimensions are parallel in a sense. I mean, it sounds like parallel universes, and that this is all going on within us. And this whole thing that science never wanted to deal with, consciousness, and that now it's the hot topic, is quite fascinating. And what consciousness is, to a certain degree, is spirituality from an old point of view. And so I feel like we are in a spiritual evolutionary time, and understanding the tools that can help you understand yourself, giving that unique perspective, that individual perspective that is the opposite of unity consciousness, right, can give you a much better and clear perception on your unique vision of unity consciousness, which is what you're here to kind of bring to the world. The gift that you bring is your unique perception of things. So following the other and following a path, you have to be careful to discern and always choose a path to a certain degree that gives you tools and practices and experiences that are always awakening your own truth, your own uniqueness, your own way of seeing the world, right? So that you can start offering your gift, your unique perspective, your individualized being, without forgetting that we are all one, and that basically the unity consciousness, the flow state, the divine state of consciousness is accessible to all of us. Okay, so having that awakening, having that hit by lightning, the ceremony that awakens you, the near-death experience, all of that's available for all of us. We can do it through many different methods, right? And most people touch upon that at one point in their life. It opens them up to the spiritual realm. What makes a master is the training of time and continuous work of enabling themselves to be an apprentice. And the greatest masters I've seen at 95, after going through 80 years of practice, are still saying they're apprentices, and that says a lot. And I think being an apprentice and being a person that's always open to learning, and keeping that learning index, keeping that openness to wanting to learn, and being absolutely committed to wanting to learn more and willing to change, is really what's going to give you the essential tools to become a master. And then secondly, it's patience. And in a sense, the drive and the thirst for more experiences, for more knowledge, for more teachers, rather than the impatience of when is it my turn to tell people. It will happen. And this is, I think, when you hear masters, they tell you they didn't have a choice. It happened to them. Things happened to them. They actually almost rejected it. I was fully in my ego when all this happened to me, and wanted to be more of a rock star and a new media star. And I was set up that way to be that, At 22, being the VP of new media for Sony worldwide, my career path was set, and I rocked it for 3 years. So I was passionate about that. I was passionate about following that course of action. My spiritual essence and curiosity was just enriching a certain part of me. It was like kind of doing my sports as well, just like my creativity, just like my job. Well, there's a spiritual aspects. And so I went deep into it, and I was just passionate about everything. And so I learned, and I had experiences after experiences after experiences, and I did have many masters. And eventually I discerned which paths and which techniques and which practices fit my being and fit my uniqueness. And I hone that in, and I'm still honing that in. I'm still learning. I'm still seeking, I'm still open for new masters. I'm always intrigued and reading. Unfortunately, after a certain while, you start seeing who is truly somebody who can give you information and opens up your mind and your curiosity and your heart and your being, and others that, aren't. And unfortunately, I feel today with the new age, there is so much repetition of the same information rather than authentic information and experiences that really kick your ass, into flooring you to the ground and kicking your ego to the ground so that you humbly open up to praying for your life. And that's healthy. That is where the spiritual really starts to take grip within you, is when you're praying for your life. You want life and not death. And it's a really big point. Knowledge is not spirituality. It's something else. Knowledge is good, and it's the wisdom that is the spirituality. And wisdom is integrated knowledge, meaning you really are able to use knowledge for yourself and for society and at service to others, so that you can help others through your own process that you've gone through, usually overcoming suffering, overcoming pain, overcoming loss, overcoming sadness and other emotions. And the process of growing in humanity is difficult. It's tough. It requires courage, the open heart. The muscle of the heart needs to be broken to expand, and I learned that very early on. And so there's a certain strange energy of wanting to break yourself open over and over and over again to keep growing. And so, as I said, being that spiritual master and teacher is not for everyone, because it's tiring. That is exhausting, especially if you have a job on the other side, which is why, in a sense, my life shifted, and I didn't have that job. I didn't have that career, and I didn't have a choice in that. My ego resisted for another 7 years as part of the deconditioning, thinking I was still going to be in that. And eventually you start seeing how your soul and your ego must align. And it's the willfulness to serve your higher self that trains your ego to give up its dreams and perhaps even its reputation, so that you can have your higher self, your soul essence, use this vehicle to incarnate deeply and be of service to others. And that might be the dancer, that might be the soccer player, that might be the star singer, that might be the CEO, that might be the garbage man that, does that job while singing and fully in his being. And, the job is just a job. And then there's the qualities of the human. And I think this is where spirituality can be beneficial for all people. So whether you want to be a spiritual master or you're destined to be one or not is really not your choice. And it's not for you to choose. It's whatever you're doing right now, bring spirit to it. Bring the qualities of gratitude, of humbleness, of service, of deep acceptation, of happiness and joy, and that willingness to be fully present in what you're doing. Then it doesn't really matter what you're doing, and then you're bringing spirit into it, and then every single thing can become a spiritual experience. I think that's the goal. And so the surfer that is spiritually completely in flow is being spiritual, just like the skier, just like the trader, just like, a teacher, just like the father or the mother. And that's, for me, almost more spiritual than the monk that's up in the mountain meditating. Yes, there's a key aspect to their training that they're dedicating themselves to continuously learn about spirituality, because their essence is to be devoted to the spiritual path. And so that's why they do that and they commit to that. But that's not the path for everyone. And so discerning your own path. So a lot of these meditations, a lot of programs out there are very much a one size fits all. And that's a tragedy, because the real gift of having so many of us today is to really learn our uniqueness, our individual lenses, our unique being. And there's so many amazing tools. I mean, literally human design, gene keys, and the Sphinx Code are 3 incredible tools that will give you very quick ways of understanding yourself and your unique perspective, your unique filtering systems, your unique aspects of consciousness. And as we are living in this hologram, there is a certain, set of rules that creates the material plane from a spiritual, mental, emotional aspects of ourselves, as we are the humans here. And it's an incredible experience, this human experience. And the shame is that most people are still asleep. And what I mean by that, and what I think most people mean by that, is that they're still looking for security and safety in being homogenized, in being like the other. It's not normal that everybody has the same dream of wanting that safe, picket white fence house with 2 kids and a love. It's not really, the essence of each individual dream. And having the courage to be a person of deep character that has done the soul work to really understand who you are and what you stand for and what you see and what you don't, and what you feel and what you don't, and what you want and what you don't, and what your dream is. It's your responsibility to make that happen and to bring that out into the world. And in a way, that is available for you on this planet as a human incarnated in this moment. So I'll leave you with that, and good luck, and have a beautiful trip discovering yourself through some of these tools and really committing to your own beauty, which is self-love. Till next time. Again, thanks for listening. My name is Manex Ibar. You can find out more information at manexibar.com. It's MANEXIBAR.com. And check out the different courses and the immersions that are on this platform. And enjoy wherever you are, whatever time it is. Find your presence and love yourself with blessing.